Hey, everybody, welcome to the Ronline Report. Today's guest is one of the best young up-and-coming pros on the scene. You might know him on Instagram as one of the greatest Instagram names ever, Quint Beastwood, all the way from Ontario, Canada. Please welcome Quinton Eriya. What's up, Quinton?
Hey, how's it going, Ron? Nice to talk to you.
Did I say the last name right? Eriya?
Yeah, that's it. You got it. Okay. Hit the nail on the head.
Perfect, man. Perfect. So you are just days away from the Toronto Pro, which has not happened since, when was that held? June of 2019 was the last time? May?
Yeah. My pro debut, right? Yeah, I think that was the last one.
Yeah. It was quite a pro debut because I remember, I think even the day before, I ran into you and Dorian Hamilton, your coach. I ran into you, walking around. And I think at that time you were still thinking about going classic because you still had time to try to, but you would have had to drop 16 pounds in like 8 hours or something before the weigh-ins.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Yeah. But you do have such beautiful shape and tiny joints. I understand why people, they throw classic out all the, why don't you should go classic, you should do this or that. But man, you're way over the weight limit. Even then you were. Now, my goodness. I have to commend you because, man, you are getting better and better. So let me run down your pro record. That was your pro debut. First time I ever saw you. Very, very impressed. That was 5th place at your pro debut, top 5, not too shabby. Then you did the other Canadian show, that's coming up again too this year, Vancouver, right?
I don't think it's I think it's a pro show, but only for like masters bikini and there's not like a lot of categories though.
Gotcha. There's no room for giant open pros. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. No, none of the big people.
Okay, so you were 6th place in that famous 2019 Vancouver Pro. I say famous because that's where Hadi Choopan set the bodybuilding world on fire. Like,
yeah, that was,
it was like Hadi fever after that. So
yeah.
you shared the stage. Last year you came back, did New York Pro, which was Tampa, right? I think.
Yeah, it was in Tampa.
That's in Tampa. 8th place. And then you just did a very respectable 5th place at the Romania Pro, which is a really good lineup. Was this your plan all along? Was just these 2 shows, Romania, and then come back home to Toronto for that?
So pretty much I had a surgery for gyno last year, and the way that the recovery took place, I just needed a little bit of time before I got back into my off season. So I wanted to give myself enough time to make solid improvements. So I knew that if I wanted to compete this year, it would have to be towards the latter half. So I've been to Romania before when I was an amateur. I liked my experience there, competing there. So I chose that show. And I was planning on doing the Big Man Show Spain. However, with the flights and everything, it just was a little too crazy. And, Toronto. Okay, so here's the funny thing. I initially wanted to do Romania and Spain.
Okay.
Toronto, I think the date was I think the date moved around a bit. So I don't know if it was, I think initially it wasn't supposed to be in December. It's supposed to be like August or something. So I wasn't even focused on Toronto. The situation with the pandemic in Canada and especially in Ontario was really bad. So I wasn't going to bank on any show locally because the cancellations keeps getting pushed back, all these weird mandates. So I just didn't think it was safe. Yeah. So now at this point with where we are in Ontario, things are like pretty sound and the event's going to happen. So with that being said, we prioritize Toronto as opposed to doing Spain. And obviously, it's a hometown, so I don't got to travel 22 hours or whatever. And it gave me a little bit, because Spain was 2 weeks after Romania.
Yeah.
And with traveling, essentially, I get back home from Romania, train for like 5 days, then take off and go to Spain. As opposed to Toronto, I actually have time to train and improve. So I just felt like, or not just me, but me and my coach felt like this is the best decision for us to bring the best possible package to the stage and get that Olympia qualification.
Yeah, and I mean, not for nothing, but you would have a lot more friends and family in the audience in Toronto than I imagine you would in Alicante, Spain.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, that's a hike. Plus, I imagine I haven't tried traveling internationally since all this started. I can't even imagine. It must be a lot of paperwork and COVID tests and oh my God.
It's a process.
Yeah. So like I said, you've been making progress, but I want to commend you for making very and I don't mean this in a bad way. I mean this in a good way. Slow, gradual progress. Because when you competed back in when I saw you 2019, your pro debut, you were about 255, 256, something like that.
Yeah. So that day I think it was 252.
Okay.
And then Vancouver I was 254.
Yeah.
And this year at the Romania show, like I was drier, I was very conditioned, but I was also like over dieted, which I didn't realize until recently when I started to see my muscles fill up. So we got down to like 257. And when we filled up for the show, I think we were around like 260, 261. So,
okay. Yeah.
We gained a little bit of muscle, like a couple of pounds, but I feel like slow and steady wins a race. It's a marathon, Of course, I could try and pack it all on very quickly, but I'm very conscious about my health. And obviously, I know what I signed up for.
Yeah.
But, I think there's a certain way to do things that's a little bit more economical. And that's what I do. And I like how it works. I like how I feel.
Yeah. I mean, what is your waist when you're all dieted down? It looks so tiny.
Oh, honestly, I don't get into the measurements and stuff, man.
Come on.
It just, the reason why is because I feel like bodybuilding is such an obsessive sport. I'm already so obsessed with like seeing my weight go down, seeing new, lines and veins. So I don't want to add another like attribute that's going to make me crazy.
Right. That's true. I mean, if I'll guess, I'm going to take a wild guess. So even at 200, close, about let's call you 260, because you're waking up at like 259.9 according to Instagram. So I bet your waist, and you're 6'1", you haven't gotten any taller, right?
6'1".
I'm going to say 30 inches, maybe.
I mean, who knows?
Yeah, well, somebody tackle this guy with a tape measure. We'll find. Yeah, I know it doesn't matter. It's what it looks like. And you have the craziest, when I say you're adding size slowly, there are cases where I see guys piling on the mass quick, and the waistline, they lose that really pretty X frame and the nice tight little waist. And I don't think you ever need to be like a big Rami size. I don't know if you could anyway, how many human beings can, but you don't need to, because you have something that most of these people don't have. It's that shape and the way the muscle bellies come down to these tiny little joints. Like another 10 pounds on you would look like another 30 pounds on somebody else with clunkier or thicker joints easily. And you do have a healthy look about you. I know there's no 100% healthy way to do this, but there are much healthier ways to do it.
Yeah.
And you strike me as 26 years old, you said, right?
Yes, 26.
So you're wise beyond your years, because, man, I know some knuckleheads out there that are even 10 years or more older than you, but yeah, you're taking your time and doing it right.
What I can say about that is, one, I have a really good coach. My coach really cares about my health as well. He's educated me a lot over the years. I also take the time to educate myself and do my own research. Another thing is that I love bodybuilding. I have a passion for this. I enjoy doing it, but bodybuilding isn't my life. Like bodybuilding is an important part of my life at this time, but you got to understand, a lot of people don't really realize, but there's a lot more to life. You can only do this for a certain period of time. And then when you're done, what now? So I want to be a father one day. I have an amazing girlfriend. Hopefully one day we get married, have kids. I want to be around. I want to take my kids to, soccer practice, basketball. Like, I want to play ball with them. I want to see them grow, see them get married, so longevity is very important as it comes to life. So, bodybuilding isn't something that I want to take away from that. But at the same time, I do understand that there's a risk.
Sure. But yeah, when I say wise beyond your years, you just really confirmed it, because most 26-year-olds are not thinking about when they're 36, 46. They're not thinking someday I'm not going to be doing this. I'm going to be in another phase of my life. And maybe there's going to be people like a wife and kids that want me healthy and around for many, many more years. So that long range vision is something very, very few guys in their 20s have. So I don't know where you got it from, but stay frosty. Man, I'm trying to remember who coined, somebody said, I don't know if it was Greg Doucette or Fawad. Somebody said, this guy has the best genetics in bodybuilding. Do you remember who it is? Who said that?
Oh, Greg Doucette.
Greg, Coach Greg. You like Greg's videos?
Yeah, I like it. He's very informative, very entertaining.
Yeah, the screaming doesn't even bother me. Doesn't bother me one bit.
I don't, yeah, it's funny because it bothers some people, but I enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing good work. But I kind of agree with him because I see some of your shots. I always say you can probably judge people's genetics. 90% of it you can judge by just one pose, front double bicep. That's where you can see the full structure. You can't see the back, obviously, but you see your bicep peaks. You see the way your lats flare out, that tiny waist, the quads flare out. You're really not missing anything. You just need a little bit more size. And I don't, when I say a little, I mean, I don't think you need 20, 30 more pounds. I think another 5 pounds next year, 5 pounds after that, you'll probably be all done as far as size that you need. Because, like I said, it's all illusion. Somebody with really tiny joints and round muscle bellies creates an illusion of much more size than somebody that's got, big clunky waist and elbows and wrists and all that crap. Yeah. So yeah, what have you been working on? You and your coach Dorian, has it been overall size? Has it been certain key areas? What's been the focus since you competed last year?
Since last year, we've been really focused on trying to bring up my back and also my chest. We obviously everything, we try and bring everything up, but I'd say that's really the main focus because obviously when I compare myself to the best of the best, they're just a lot bigger, right? So I guess it's just been about trying to put on the size. And then a goal I have for myself for this upcoming off season is just keep things tight, because I feel like if you can keep your skin nice and tight, if you can keep yourself from not retaining so much water in the off season, and when you get into prep, because you could be very lean, but like let's say your skin folds are like loopy, you know what I'm saying? Like so for me, I think that if I could stay a bit more refined in the off season, it's just gonna bring a much better package next year. And I think I could do that while putting on a good amount of muscle. And that process is also going to protect the waist from getting too big. So, I have everything mapped out.
Right. So do you have like a weight? I know you were getting up to 300 even, or maybe you even got heavier than that. Is that a good weight for you? Or are you going to try to stay even a little lighter than that in the future?
I got the first off season, I think I got up to 300, second one, 316. Oof. Last one, the most I got up to, at first I was just hanging at 295. Yeah. Then it went up a little, just over 300. So this last one, I was able to maintain things a bit better. So I think this time, the most I want to get to is around 290, but much leaner.
Yeah. What was 316 like? How did that feel?
At that time, horrible. Couldn't bend down, tie my shoes, all that stuff was a process.
Yeah, I say that because so many people watch these videos and they hear like these numbers like, oh, I wish I was 300. I wish I was 315, but yeah, be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, no, it's not fun.
There's only one person I've ever talked to that said he was comfortable with that weight, and that was Ronnie.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
But I think he just held that weight in the off season for so long that it was like no big deal for him anymore. But
yeah.
I saw him walking around at like 320, 330, and I didn't see him tie his shoes, but I bet he could have. He looked fine. Yeah, tell him, there's a ton of people watching who have the same two areas that they really need to focus, chest and back, because so many guys look good from the front and the back, but when they turn to the side, they don't have that real front to back thickness. Mm-hmm. I think that really enhances the physique, especially if you're able to keep the waist small.
Yes.
What have been some keys in developing your chest and back so people out there can get some tips?
I think it's just intensity, and all, it's not just about training hard, but it's about training smart. So I started working with a trainer. His name's Mike Van Wyck.
Oh, Mike Van Wyck.
Yeah, he's on point, man. He's really good. His techniques are man, the guy's so wise. He is so, I love working with him. It's cool because, again, he was a pro bodybuilder. He's been through it. I think he's had some injuries. So he created this training style that is very effective, gets a lot of blood through the muscles. And I feel like I made good gains this past year. And a lot of my training has been with him, or even on my own. I've took things from what he taught me and put it into my own training. And I found that it amplified my training. So that was very helpful. And I just feel like if you have trouble with something, get help. If you have the means to get help, get help. I'm very fortunate that I have the gym, Pure Muscle and Fitness, and I have a community of people that are passionate about the same thing that I'm passionate about and are willing to help me. But definitely, I would say if you can work with a good trainer, hire that trainer to push you for those muscle groups.
Yeah. Mike used to he went to school in Boston down here years ago. Yeah, we competed together when he was a little cub.
No way.
Yeah, you know,
Awesome.
he was not the Mike that he became.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I beat a lot of people when they were like just starting out. Then like a year later, they were 10 times my
Yeah.
size. But I didn't. He was a cool dude. But who he trains? Does he train Antoine as well?
Yes, he trains
Yeah,
Antoine.
yeah. I've seen some of the videos. Very, some of these. I call him old school because he's got to be about my age. He's got to be close to 50 if he's not 50 yet. Some of these techniques have been forgotten and stuff. That's like why Charles Glass is such a great trainer. He's doing stuff that the modern people they never even heard of it. Like 20, 30, 40 years ago, these were things people were using when they didn't have a ton of different machines to choose from. And yeah, so he's very good. One thing about your training that you said on Instagram that surprised me, but not really, is you just started training arms again after 6 months. So did you stop training arms for half a year?
Yeah, so I stopped training pretty much around the time I started my contest prep. So I was on prep for Romania, I think for like around 25 weeks around there.
Wow.
So it was like
why so long?
Well, I just wanted to. So for me, I had like PTSD from my last show because I wasn't in shape, and I really felt like I failed myself, and I didn't get the chance to redeem it, and I just wanted to get back in the trenches and go to work. So we did, and of course, it was a slow process to start.
Okay.
But yeah, we just hacked away, and man, I love this stuff. And it was good. I like longer preps because I feel like, I don't know, man. It's just like there's so many different phases that you just get more locked in, and you're so in the routine. I felt like my training, everything was like with a purpose. I mean, it already was before I had a show in mind,
right?
But it just really fueled me a bit more.
Yeah, you made another post that,
Oh, sorry.
No, we'll get to the arms thing, but I want to point out that you did make a post about how you love prep, even though it is very uncomfortable physically, mentally, and everything. But you talked about the process, and you like being hungry. You like seeing a different vein or a different striation every day. It sort of makes it all worthwhile, because so many of these people in prep, man, that's all they do is wow, wow, wow. It's like a bitch fest every day on their social media. So it's good to see somebody who's, and sometimes when they say it's I'm feeling great, they're not in shape. You got the glutes striated all to hell and everything. You're still smiling and talking about I love this shit, even though it's I mean, has prep always been like a good thing for you, where even though it's physically uncomfortable, it's so motivating to wake up and have that purpose every day?
So the way I see it, so first of all, for the arms, I was training back and chest twice a week.
Okay.
So because of the way my split was designed, I guess my arms aren't something that needed a crazy amount of work. So we just took it out. That's why I didn't train them. And in regards to the prep, the thing is, every time that I do a contest prep, I get better at it. And I also enjoy it more. And it's not easier. I feel like I find ways to dig deeper each prep, and that makes me happy because I see more results. But it becomes, you're just more conditioned to it, so I find that with life, life is short, and if I'm going through, let's say it's just a 12-week prep, I'm like, oh man, I can't wait for these 12 weeks to be done so I could eat. And then when that period's done, like the show is only going to last a couple hours, like a day, whatever. Yeah. But the preparation is 12 weeks. So you just went through 12 weeks of like hating life, not enjoying it. So to me, it's like you're kind of wasting your life if you're doing something where you're not happy. So even when it feels bad, I have to remind myself, this is a privilege. I'm having fun. Like I get to do what I want to do. Like nobody put a gun to my head to do this. So I always try to remind myself, do your best every day and find something good about every day. Because there's some real hard days, but I promise you, there's always something that's pretty good, So that's just what I stick with.
Yeah, even all these people that complain about prep and people that don't complain about it, I always felt like once the show was over, as much as I hated, I got to eat this and I can't eat what I want, and I'm tired and I'm hungry. Yeah. Once the show was over, I felt so lost and I missed the prep. I was like, you can eat anything you want now. I'm like, but I don't know what I want to eat. There's too many choices. I like 10 a.m. is the chicken and 12 is this, having it all figured out. You didn't have to think about it. You were just on a plan and you were executing a plan. And Man,
Mhm.
do you feel like lost? And it's almost like it's like when women have the baby, they have that
Yes,
postpartum depression. Do you go through
yes.
that after shows?
Every time I'm like, I just feel so like it takes me a while to become normal again, to become human, so to speak.
Mm,
But I do make an effort when I'm not in a contest prep to restructure how I think so I'm not so OCD and not so crazy so I can have more balance,
mm.
because I feel like, as I said, like you don't want bodybuilding to control your life. I personally, like, I like how I look as a bodybuilder, but I don't care about looking like this. I could lose all my muscle. I'll be just as happy, just as confident. I mean, it's cool. I love it. And I think
Yeah.
that it's like, it's something that maybe this was my destiny and I enjoy doing it. But bodybuilding and being muscular doesn't define. So when I hear people talk about bigorexia and all that stuff, like that'll never happen to me. However, the structure of wanting to do cardio, wanting to do my training, that is like, it takes me about a month, like, or 5 to 6 weeks to like just break that and be a little bit more relaxed after a show.
Cool. Yeah, that's cool because like most people I know have bigorexia. I mean, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's sad because there comes a day everyone's going to have to downsize either by choice or you're going to be forced to at some point in the future. It might be a year from now, it'd be 20. It's going to happen. So yeah, it's good that you already have that attitude because otherwise, yikes. Let's talk about Dorian and the coaching situation because
Yes.
I see so many guys jumping from coach to coach to coach. Almost they'll do like one show with a coach. If they don't win, they'll go to another coach. You've been with Dorian since is he your coach since the amateur days or
No,
just
I met him a year before I did Toronto Pro. So I met him in 2018.
okay? So that's solid 3 years, over 3 years now. Yeah, what's it good about the relationship that you guys have as coach and client? Why do you stay with him when I'm sure people are probably sending you DMs? Oh, you should hire this guy, that guy, this guy.
Yeah. Oh, so I get those messages. I find him annoying. Like, oh, you should work with this coach, that coach. So here's the thing. For me personally, I'm a very loyal individual. And one, I've learned so much from Dorian. Like, for example, when I first started working with him, I was still like, I turned pro naturally, but I was still very green. Like, I enjoyed bodybuilding, but I was also like boxing on the side. I was playing basketball. Like, I wasn't 100%. And I didn't think, like, let's say when I turned pro, that prep, I was boxing. Me and my friend, like, we were boxing at work. I was playing basketball for cardio. Like, I didn't realize, like, okay, it has to be like this, and like with sauces, I would use like a Chipotle mayo. And I wasn't thinking about how much. I never looked at the macronutrients because I would still get in decent shape.
Right.
Another thing I used was like Diana sauce, a lot of sugar. So little things like that. And like Dorian was able to, over time, like, no, not good. This, and very black and white, very old school in a sense. But the cool thing about him is he's always learning and he's very passionate about bodybuilding and the body. So he's always learning. So I find that every couple months, there's something new. There's like a new component of what we're doing with our plan because he's learned something new. And it's kind of cool because I'm always learning when I'm working with him. I also love the results that we get together. I love the fact that I've been totally healthy. We never have any problems. When it comes to people saying, oh, you need to switch coaches, I think people are just really stupid. Also with bodybuilding, there's so many variables. Sometimes, for example, for Romania, we just really dropped the hammer and just got me real peeled, like real conditioned, and went into the show. Now, the problem was I was so flat. We did these big carb ups leading into Romania because I was so flat, but I was still really flat. So the thing is, yeah, I was conditioned, I was in shape, but that's data that we wouldn't have had if we hadn't gone through that experience. Was I 100%? I wasn't 100%, but that experience is what's going to make me better. So if I had just left Dorian after that, which I was happy with, I was totally happy. I love the pictures. I love the experience. I have no problems with it, but you have some stupid fans like, oh, switch coaches. If I leave him and work with another coach, now we go through that same process again, right? How will they know how to bring me in? How will they know, okay, he's flat, we got to fill him out here, or let's not get him this flat. You get what I mean? So it's just, there's more to it than what meets the eye.
Yeah. And I'm guessing the coaches they were suggesting to you, they're basing it on this guy's got a client that won the Olympia or won
Yeah.
this show or that show, which doesn't mean necessarily he's a better coach. It means they're a good coach, just like your coach is a good coach, but maybe this athlete just has insane genetics and this was his time to win that particular show.
Yeah.
I mean, people are so fickle.
There's so many variables.
Right now, the best coach in the world is Chad Nichols because he has Mr. Olympia, right?
Yeah.
But if Rami loses the Olympia, all of a sudden Chad sucks. That's how people are. That's how people are. But man, so I haven't seen the list yet. We're actually recording this a little early. But man, I think you have to be one of the favorites for this Toronto Pro. I don't even. It doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter who else is going in. You can't think about it that way. I was thinking about you were 5th place in Romania. That was a tough lineup. That was one of the best post Olympia lineups I've seen in quite a long time. So I think you have a really good chance, dude.
I mean, yeah, my goal is to win. Of course, you know, I'm respectful to all my competitors. I don't overlook anybody. I know a couple of guys doing the show, but you know, regardless, you know, I'm coming to win. Like I was going to Romania to win. Right. You know, it just didn't happen like that. And again, I'm totally happy with where I was placed. However, we're coming into Toronto better with some improvements. Polished up the posing presentation, so it's going to be a good time, man. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, and so that wraps up the open men's season. So you get your Olympia qualification, let's say. Would you shut it down until the Olympia and then think about maybe some post-Olympia shows? Because I like seeing guys are starting to compete more, some of them anyway. I'd like to see you join that group that competes more often.
Yeah, I would love to. You know, I love the reception that I get from the fans and also the critics too, because, you know, I try and I don't read too many comments like on YouTube and stuff because, you know, there's a lot of hate on YouTube, but
yes, there is.
I find that no, the Olympia next year is in December, so I don't know like what shows would be after it.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, this Olympia is wacky the way it keeps going all over the place. Well, I mean, yeah, you're right. There might not be any post-Olympia shows. There has to be though.
I know. I mean, I guess we'll see when the list comes out.
But you're right. What are they going to have them in January? They can't do that.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, this is COVID world. It's not the regular world yet. We're still trying to get everything back to normal. But man, 26 years old, you're going nowhere but up, Quinton. It's fun to watch progress of, you know, I'm a big fan of everybody, but it's more exciting to see people that are improving and going up the ladder, just because there's some drama to it. There's a storyline, but as opposed to someone who's been at the top for a very, very long time, which is a lot of these other guys. And like I see, you know, Giles Thomas, my compatriot over there in England, he's pointed out another exciting thing that you're part of is this group of really young pros that's coming up. You know, like yourself, Regan, Nick, Walker, Hunter, a lot of new, really good guys, Raphael, a lot of good guys in their 20s, which thank God, because, you know, we're going to have a bunch of 50-year-olds up there. Couldn't do that forever. So
it's the changing of the tides. A lot of the guys that we're very used to seeing at the top, they're starting to make their way out. So it's cool, man. Raphael, incredible, such a humble guy. Regan's such a great guy. He's my roommate, actually. He lives upstairs.
You still have that Muscle House, or what's it called?
Yeah, Muscle Mansion.
Muscle Mansion, that's right.
Yeah. So who else? Nick Walker. I had a brief conversation with him online. Such a humble, such a nice guy. Incredible bodybuilder. Hunter, very nice guy. I met him at the Olympia, and so again, just such an amazing bodybuilder. I can't. Who else? I'm sure there's a couple other young guys. I'm just not thinking off the top. But man, these guys, the sport's in good hands, you know, because these guys, they're not just really good bodybuilders, but they're all, from all my experiences, they're all such good people. They're such good representations of the sport. So, you know, I'm happy to be named amongst those guys, and it's time to get that qualification.
Let's throw Bumstead in there, even though he's classic. But the important thing, another important aspect to that is not only do we have all this new blood, because we do have to replace all the guys who are starting to leave, and they're definitely starting to leave. But, you know, bodybuilding fans have always been young men, always. It's been like 16 to 24-year-olds have been the bulk of bodybuilding fans. And it's hard to get them to follow the sport when it's all guys who are like 35 to 50 years old are the top athletes. They can't relate. but they do like to, like that's one reason Nick Walker is so crazy popular. It's because he's a 19-year-old kid sees a 26, 27-year-old, and they go, okay, that's not that much older than me. I can kind of relate to that. They can't relate to somebody like I don't know. There's a lot of people in their 40s now, so I'm not gonna make an example out of anybody. But yeah, you guys are bringing the youth in, and we really need that. We don't just need new athletes. We need a lot of new fans to keep this thing going too. So
yeah.
Good job, Quinton. Yeah.
That's true. That is very true.
All right. Well, I wish you the very best of luck. Are there any other people other than Dorian that you want to thank before we say goodbye?
So I feel like I'm going to forget somebody. I would like to, first and foremost, I want to thank my girlfriend, Melissa. Man, she's so supportive. She came with me to Romania. She was my rock. I was stress-free. I appreciate her more than anything. I want to thank Dorian. I want to thank Noah Hamilton, Dorian's brother, the owners of the gym. I want to thank Mike Van Wyck. I want to thank Antoine Vaillant, Cody Amy. Man, geez.
Mariah. You forgot Mariah.
Mariah, Alora. There's so many people, man. The way I see it, it takes a village, and we definitely have just such a great community at the gym, Pure Muscle and Fitness. And again, the owners, Dorian and Noah, they did a great job with everything pertaining to that gym and also the brand Extreme Muscle. So a huge shout out to my team. And thank you, everybody. Thank you, Valerie Rattel, great friend of mine, very supportive. She's doing her pro debut in Toronto as well. And I know she's going to kill it. We're going to have a great time after the show, all of us. So just shout out to my team. I feel like I'm probably forgetting a couple people, so my apologies, but yeah.
I mean, you've been in prep for 27 weeks now?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I think you can be excused if you forget one person that like somebody made your posing suit or something. Yeah, they know who they are. But, So that's it, man. I wish you the very best of luck. I hope you got that Olympia qualification. Definitely would love to see you on the Olympia stage.
Yes.
We need all types of physiques, and I love seeing the classic type of physique, all the classic physique, the really cool shape and the tiny waist and everything. It just because I came up in the 90s, and we had a lot more of that back then, obviously. But we're seeing more of that lately for sure. Yeah. We're seeing a lot of aesthetic physiques do well.
Oh, like Samson, yes, Samson. Oh man, I love Samson. Absolutely love Samson. Shout out to Samson. Man. I hope. We'll make it happen.
Yeah. All right. Well, check Quinton out, guys, at the Toronto Pro Super Show happening as this is going to come out next week. So it's happening. Is it a Saturday show or a Sunday show?
It's a Sunday show.
Sunday show. Yeah, they're doing more and more of those lately.
I know.
So what's up with that? But I think you're going to do very, very well, sir. Yeah. I'm rooting for you. So that's it. Quinton Beastwood on Instagram, everybody. Follow him. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video, do the thumbs up thing, leave comments, do all that good stuff. Notification bell, we appreciate it. This has been the Ronline Report with Quinton Eriya. Thanks for watching.